Designer Notes, Subject 18. What subject would you like us to discuss next? Subscribe and comment to let us know. A watch is meant to record time. Even though a watch today is mostly used to make you look good, time, if used properly, can make you even successful. Here's 5 ways to manage your time from 5 successful people and the watches that should remind us of them. There's much we can learn from and about Benjamin Franklin. Enough can be said about his accomplishments, but to our amusement, he said quite a lot himself. Either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. Never ruin an apology with an excuse. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Amused yet? One quote that more than amused us, it opened our eyes to a painful truth. You may delay, but time will not, and lost time is never found again. Benjamin Franklin embodied these words. Delay seems to be only part of his vocabulary if it describes someone else. He is known to always have a strict routine. He wakes up the same time and goes to sleep in the same time each and every day. Mr. Franklin knows too well that one can lose wealth and gain it back again. One can get ill and be well again, but lost time is lost forever. Thus, the first step to managing time is understanding the importance of time itself. With time being such a scarce commodity, it's only reasonable to make use of it efficiently and with a goal in mind. What is your goal for a specific time? What makes this goal more important than other goals? Stephen King, one of the most prolific writers in the world, always writes something every day. He has a minimum count of words to write, a goal. He also finds time to read, another important goal. Here's what he said about reading. A writer who doesn't have time to read doesn't have time or tools to write. We see the correlation of time and goal, in this case, reading. Having a goal at an allotted time yields skills that is useful for future projects. This process in economics is called an investment, and for this case, it's an investment of time. Once you have identified your goal, set time to reach them, and not let less important goals get in the way of these important ones. The majority of what occupies our time daily are less important things in our career and life. Saying no to these less important things is a skill that needs to be developed. According to Warren Buffett, the difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. Granted, it takes an equal amount of skill to discern if a situation needs a yes or a no, but realizing that every time you say yes to something, you are effectively saying no to something else. Saying yes to something mundane or menial is in effect saying no to something that's potentially career-changing or even with a successful result. It is a useless pursuit to count how many no's Mr. Buffett has handed out in the past week, much more throughout his lifetime. But you cannot deny that the yeses brought him much success. Success is often measured by many by the amount of digits to one's company or their self-worth. Elon Musk is a victim to this public perception, but unbeknownst to many, Musk's seeming success was not brought upon by his inept ability to close a deal or foresight in investment. In fact, he went nearly bankrupt numerous times. But according to Musk, his success came from a rather suspect area. Almost all of my time, like 80% of it, is spent on engineering and design. My time is almost entirely with the engineering team working on improving the Falcon 9. At Tesla, it's working at Model 3. Musk is known to work over 12 hours a day on all of his companies. It is easy to create a contrast between the 12 hours to our mere mortal 8 hours of a workday, but we may be looking at the wrong place to find success. He devotes these long hours at his passion, where he is strong at. It doesn't take a rocket engineer to understand the simple business concept of where you're bad at, hire someone who can do better at it. And where you are good at, devote your time to it. We can marvel at the 12-hour workday of a celebrity entrepreneur, but that our mindset is actually prohibiting us from doing more than what we can potentially do. Bill Gates views hours as rather tame. Successful people view a day as 1,440 minutes rather than 24 hours. I had every minute packed, and I thought that was the only way to do things, Gates told Charlie Rose. The fact that Warren Buffett is so careful about his time. You control your time, and that sitting and thinking may be a much higher priority than a normal CEO who always have to go and see people who demand their time. It's not the proxy of your seriousness that you've filled every minute in your schedule. This is coming from a college dropout who devoted every minute of his working time at something that is really important to him. Time well spent defying conventions. Time is the great equalizer. Everyone has the same amount of time, regardless of our status in society, income, age, culture, or race. Time was so important that mankind made timekeeping devices so as not to forget its passing. These 5 watches should remind us of the 5 men that made use of their time and found great success and even forever changed our lives as we know it. Did they have an unfair advantage? Time would firmly disagree. While we were going about our daily routine, these men, in the same amount of time, did the things that were important to them. If all is fair in time and things to do, then you also, with a good use of your time, can be the next revolutionary scientist, best-selling author, great economist, rock star engineer, or a visionary undergraduate. Where would you find your success? Only time can tell.